Okay, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Emily.
I'm Galina.
I'm Henry.
I'm Angelina.
I'm Zach.
And this is our U.S. history game called Colonial Catastrophe.
So our game is a choose your own adventure game, and it basically walks students through the colonial time period and takes them through U.S. history. So a choose your own adventure game is basically you answer questions, and based on those, your story changes and you go through a different path. So we split ours into 2 acts, and Act 1 is from the colonists' point of view, and Act 2 is from the Native Americans' point of view. And each of the acts is split up into stories and characters, so you go through like a different path for each character. And basically our example starts in the Mayflower, and it basically takes you through the process of colonization.
Yes, so we chose 3 main characters that we thought would, of course, historically fit the period. First, we have carpenters, someone who deals with wood, and for example, would make like a home or a shop. Next, we have a merchant, someone who deals with trade inside and outside the colonies. And third, we have a minister. Puritan ministers are religious leaders that were officially appointed, and Puritans coming off the Mayflower, religion is very important to them because of religious persecution they felt in England, which made them immigrate here.
And so what happens is that, after you choose your job, you decide what's going to happen. Like, for example, are you going to create your own town, or are you going to explore the new world? And what's going to happen is eventually you're going to encounter the natives, and depending on like your job that you choose, the situation you can be put in is different. Like, let's say you're a minister and like you have religion, like, do you accept the religion, do you despise it? And that will cause conflict and war. And let's say like if you're looking for shelter and it's the winter, are you going to accept the natives' help? And that may or may not kill you.
So in the end, the students will learn various aspects of the colonial era within U.S. history. This includes the relationships, but also the conflict between the 2 populations, because there's not just one path. We provide both sides of the story, essentially. And we also have an opportunity for the students to immerse themselves in the culture of the Native Americans, and also the responsibilities that each of the colonists holds within their different jobs, from carpenter to merchant to minister. And then we also have the students encounter kind of like ethical dilemmas where they have choices that aren't very clear, right? There's not going to be a clear choice that they're going to lead to surviving the war or something like that, because life wasn't like that back then. And so it's kind of a gray area where they test and they learn about their own values.
Some groups are quick to accept or reject ideas without giving proper thought or research. The focus of our group and our decision making was whenever an idea was suggested, the idea was either accepted or expanded upon, or the idea was adapted into a new idea instead of outright rejected. This is really important because of the nature of our game. Because it's a choose your own adventure story, lots of ideas are like flying everywhere, lots of questions everywhere, and we need to make sure everyone feels like they're contributing, and that's really important to a good team environment.
Okay, so let's talk business. As you may know, within the classroom war zone, teachers fight daily to win the attention and involvement of their students. And if we were fortunate enough, we had a teacher that put in the extra mile to put the in interest. But for like the less fortunate students, they can be left sitting around as their mind wanders, their textbooks collect dust, their minds wander to anywhere but the present, or in this case, the past. But with our pitch, students' minds won't stop wandering, but they'll be wandering with a purpose. Using a Choose Your Own Adventure platform will allow students to leave the classroom and explore history. And how this is going to work is that it's going to be presented and marketed towards middle schoolers and high schoolers, and a teacher would pay $25 for a classroom lifetime pack, and students would put a code in a tablet or phone provided and get sailing in the new world.
So within our U.S. history game, this provides an interactive experience for these students while covering necessary content for basic U.S. history ranging from middle school all the way to high school. And the point we want to get across and what we want to teach towards these students is that there's multiple perspectives within history, which is exactly what our Choose Your Own Adventure game shows. So by providing their own perspective and having their own pathway, they can experience their own perspective of history, even if it was 300 years in the past.
Very good. I love it. Okay, so I got some questions for you. Tracy, I don't know if you have some questions or not, but one of my questions is, have you guys ever played a game like this?
Yeah.
Okay, so what games are we talking here?
Slay the Spire.
Slay the Spire?
Do you know what that is?
But I'll look it up.
I've read a lot of Choose Your Own Adventure books too.
Yeah, me too. I love those things.
Yeah.
I played this game called Choice the Broadside. It's on this website called Choice of Games.
choice the broadside?
Yeah, it was like a sort of like a piratey thing, it was a historical kind of thing.
Okay. Could you use those in school? Are they too violent? Or are they just too cartoony? Like, what do you think?
Well, in that one, it does a really good job of presenting a story, and you're really hooked into it, and you could have a scenario oh, am I gonna choose to go and capture this ship for my country, and there can be fighting and stuff, and it's not one of those games that's super graphic or bloody, but it's a story's being told.
Sure. What platform do you think? I mean, maybe you didn't get that far, I don't know. What type of platform, like Unreal Engine or?
Oh, Galina has the coding that she was talking about in the earlier process. Do you want to talk about
Yeah,
that?
so in the early process we were trying to figure out how we're going to present this, and I took a computer science class a couple years back, and I did a Python choose your own adventure game in Python, and we were just going to have it text-based as an example, but yeah.
Cool, awesome. And then what challenges in Roblox do you guys think? Say you leave this room and you decide next week, I want this to be one of my projects. I love this. We've really put a lot of time into it, and I'm pumped about it.
I think the main thing would be actually developing the program, because Galina knows that, but I think the rest of us don't have anything to do with computer science. We also all love history, and we like the process of making a story, but I feel the hardest thing would be the marketing and actually making a video game.
And also the language you use in a choose your own adventure game. You want to not just tell, you want to show, you want to paint a picture. Even if we do have visuals, that'll be showing up. And so fleshing out the characters and stuff and making it enjoyable.
Yeah. I feel like you guys would enjoy, if you like history and you like video games, you'd enjoy the research piece of it, which would be even up down to clothing, what are they wearing, that kind of thing. But obviously, in this type of a game, you have to make a lot of stories, right? Because there's going to be a lot of choices, and it's not just, once you make this choice, now these two choices, and now these two, kind of like your poster shows, right? And it just
kind of goes all over the place.
And maybe some of those intersect, but I mean, that's a lot of work. That would be, so I don't know. I like it though. I think it's something that could definitely would interest me. I like you said, I used to read those choose your own adventure books all the time. I was ooh, this is fun, and then I try to go back and figure out which pages I'd already read, and do it again. So yeah, I love it. Are you guys around tomorrow?
I am. I don't know if everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a common time? I know Fridays are funny. Cedar Rapids. How many Cedar Rapids do I have? 2.
Me.
Okay. Is there a time when you guys? What time can you get here? How early can you get here?
I get out really early because I don't have a 5th hour. So.
Okay. What about you?
I'm usually here by 11.
Oh, even on Fridays?
Yeah.
Okay, so then it would be you guys. I think, Henry, do you get here latest then?
Yeah, I've been giving him a ride, so if I give him a ride, we'll be here at 1:15.
1:15, does that work for you too?
Oh yeah.
Does that work for everybody? So let's plan for 1:15 tomorrow, and I'll kind of talk you through what I've written down for your presentation, because I'll look at it again. But that was great.
Yeah,
I love it.
Thank you.
Oh, if we have extra time, you could play through
I want to definitely look at that.
Yeah.
That's happening.
It's not very expanded.